On. There we go. All right, we are in business. Today we're going to be talking about purpose. We're going to be talking about what do you want to do before you die, um, and and let's dive right in. Let's dive right in. So if you're here and you're joining me live, comment. Let me know where you're coming from. Where in the world? How did you find me? I'm having kind of a slow start. A lot of traveling. Just got back from Boston. So many of you guys know once a month I head up to, that's not going to look good. Does not look professional. Once a month I head up to Boston for a leadership training. And I was making it a 3-day trip and I've turned it into a 2-day trip. So Tuesdays are rough because it's like 7 hours in the car by the time I actually get home. And I keep thinking, oh, I don't want to drive home, again on Tuesday night, but I like being here Wednesday because it helps kind of start the day, right? And as I was driving yesterday, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for over a year. And why am I doing this? Why am I taking this huge inconvenience, driving to Boston, hours in car, 2 days, out of the month kind of thing. And really it's to get in a room that have women who they're business owners. They're women who have to achieve a certain amount to get in the room. They have an elevated thinking. They were doing a lot of work on like how to work with people, like your people skills, coaching, things like that. And the woman who's running it has achieved a level of success that I, aspire to achieve, right? And so it's getting in the room. And I think with the virtual world, and this has been a conversation I've been having with a lot of people. I love virtual. Obviously, I couldn't connect with you if we weren't virtual, right? But we've lost a lot that you get when you're in the physical space of someone. And being in that room, there is an energy, there is a shift, there is a mindset shift that happens when you get into the space of people who are where you want to be. Now, if you can't get there, physically, then you find that on Zoom. So I do one in person in Boston, and then I do one over a Zoom on the third week. And so it kind of breaks down my month. But it's showing up intentionally, regularly to get in those spaces. What are the spaces that you're in? They say there's that saying, right? Like, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. If we want something different, we have to be willing to do something different. And that's kind of been what I've been telling myself this whole year going up there. I can't be doing the same thing because I'll be getting the same thing, right? That's the definition of insanity. If I want something different, I have to be willing to do something different. And that different, guys, it's not always convenient. It's often very inconvenient. But it's been interesting because I've shared with you that I've had a lot of people who've lost just a lot of, I've sent out a gazillion sympathy cards in the last 2 weeks. I don't know what is going on and what's going on in the water, but I've sent out so many sympathy cards in the last 2 weeks to friends and coworkers and people who have lost, just a lot of loss. It's been very overwhelming. It doesn't seem to be stopping either. And I don't know if that's what happens, that you just get to a certain age and that just becomes the norm, or if it's just because of having a wider circle of influence. Regardless, just a lot of loss recently. So it also gets me thinking, because I have a birthday coming up, and next year I will have a new number in front of my age, right? And so that makes you start to think like, oh my gosh, I'm getting old. Oh my gosh. And you don't realize that when you're young, right? And it's funny how ages that seemed really old when I was younger are seeming younger and younger now, right? Like, think about when you're 20, you're like, oh, 60 is really, really old. And then all of a sudden you're 40 and you're like, 60 doesn't seem that old now, right? But it also makes me realize, what are the things that I want to accomplish and what do I want my life to look like? And not just look like, but to do, experience, leave. Like, think about that. There's, there's a song, oh gosh, it's like a country song. I was listening to it yesterday when I was driving, and it was talking about this older guy. He's saying, I hope you get a chance to live like you were dying. That's the name of the song. Who knows the song? Put it in the chat. It was the song. And he talks about, like, he would go skydiving, he would go Rocky Mountain climbing, he did 2.7 seconds or something on a bull. And he talks about all the things that he did. And he said, I hope that you get the chance to live like you're dying. And it made me think, like, okay, if I knew I had a year left, what would I do? And what was interesting is that there's things that I'm doing that if I had a year left in my life, I wouldn't be doing. And that made me kind of go, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. If you knew you only had a year left on this planet, what are the things that you're doing that you would stop doing? Now I know some of us are like, well, I'd stop going to my job, right? But think about like the conversations that you're having, the people that you're spending time with. Would that change? Are there people that you would spend more time with? Are there different conversations you were having? Are there things that were like your little girl bucket list dreams that you maybe one day, right? But if you only knew you had a year and that day would have to be in that year, what would change? It's really got me thinking about how I'm living my life on a regular basis, what that looks like, and openly some things that I'm going, wow, I don't really like how that is happening. I need to make some changes. I need to step back and make some changes. And so I would encourage you to spend some time looking at that. What would change for you if you had a year? What, and for me, a big thought that came up with this was purpose. What is my purpose? Why do I exist? Why was I sent here to this planet? What do I do? And there are some things that I know are my purpose that I am not doing. And there may be some things that you know are your purpose and you're not doing. And we could get into why that is, right? The daily dippies, the things that take over our day to day, that get us distracted, right? The obligations that we feel like that we have, the limiting beliefs that we have, the fear that stops us from doing those things. But what is your purpose? And do you know your purpose? Do you remember years ago, there was a book that became very famous. It was by Rick Warren called The Purpose Driven Life. It became like a bestseller. Everybody was reading it. He was a Christian writer. And it really, I think, shed light on the fact that so many people feel like they don't even know what their purpose is. If you said, what is your purpose? They don't even know, right? And that's a big part of our journey. That's a big part of our life, is trying to figure out, what is my purpose? And I think there's some questions we can ask ourselves, right? What are the things that I am naturally good at? Now, if you don't know what that is, I would encourage you to take your Clifton Strength Finders. It was very eye-opening for me when I took that. My number one strength was communication. And it made me realize that if that is my strength, then that's what I should be doing more. One of the reasons I show up with you guys. If that is my strength, then that's what I should be leaning into more. So it will show you what your strengths are. Another one was belief. And I didn't really understand what that meant at the time. I was like, okay, is that my faith? Because I'm a Christian, what does that mean? But a strength of belief means that I really cannot support, do work, be involved in things that I don't deeply care about, that I don't actually believe in. You know, I could not do a career that I didn't believe made a difference, made an impact, was important, right? And that may not be true for everybody. But for me, understanding that, then it made it very easy to evaluate what I want to say yes to and what I want to say no to, because does this really align with what's really deeply important to me? Right? So knowing your strengths, I think, is the first thing. And then with that, what do you enjoy doing? You know, what are you naturally really good at? But then what do you enjoy doing? What would you do even if you didn't get paid? Or what would you do if you could get paid? You know, sometimes that's the other question. It's not, you know, they say, oh, find a job, something that you would do every day of your life, regardless if you got paid and you'll never work another day, whatever that saying is. But sometimes it's more asking yourself, well, what if I could do this and I could get paid for it? Because I never thought I could get paid for it, but I love doing it. And then I wonder, is there a way that you could figure out how to get paid for that? Right? There might be. Why not? Like, what if there was something? So that's another great question. Like, what would I love to do that if I could do and could get paid for it, I'd really want to do this? You know, and it's kind of like that reverse eulogy. What do I want people to think about me or say about me when I'm no longer here? What is that legacy that I want to leave? So it's just been interesting. You know, you start to have these thoughts and you go, oh, this is very, very interesting. So what's kind of happening in my world? Let me tell you what's happening and what I can offer you, because one thing that's very deeply important to me is community, is connection, is people coming together. And whether that's in my direct sales business and working with my team, and oh my gosh, we're working on our biggest goal that we've ever had ever in the history of my 28-year career. So this is a exciting next 8 weeks, whether it's in our Hey Girl You Can community, women who have businesses, they're building businesses, they're scaling businesses, they're connecting with each other. Tomorrow, if you are in the New Jersey area, tomorrow I am hosting a women's networking event. You can go here to the taragonline.com links. When you click on events, I know if you're watching on the vertical, it's taragonline.com. That word is links, LINKS. If you go to the events, you will see all the upcoming events. So tomorrow we're doing an event. It's a women's networking event, but we're bringing in Letitia Gibbs, and she teaches women how to access grant money as women business owners. There's lots and lots of grant money for your business, to grow your business, to scale your business, to be able to, build a business. Like, there's money that's been invested to help women business owners, but a lot of women business owners don't know how to access this money. And so tomorrow we're doing an event. She's going to be coming in. She's going to be teaching us how to access this money. And then we're going to be doing open networking, because again, building your ecosystem, building the people that are around you. This is vital, vital. I don't even think it's just for business. I think it's for life, right? So we've got that going on tomorrow. The other thing that you're going to see on there, if you have not grabbed, oh gosh, I don't think I have it. Oh, I do. Wait, was it here? Oh, if you have not grabbed Corey's book, Future You Activated, you guys need to grab this book. This is going to help you step into the next best version of yourself. So I also still have that on my links coming up there. And then if you're not local and you're like, well, I would love to connect, I would love to do some networking, I'd love to grow my ecosystem. Next week, we do have an online networking event. Now, this is, of course, our Hey Girl You Can members. They get access to this every month as part of their membership. But if you're not a member and you want to kind of just come check it out, you can go grab a ticket, show up. Our events are run a little bit differently. We really focus on individual conversations. It's all breakout rooms. So it's not that weird, I kind of call it the weird force networking, which is like your 1 minute pitch, right? Where everybody stands and they do 1 minute pitch. And you're like, it's really about having conversations, because conversations lead to connections. And that's what counts. I did not plan on saying that. Conversations lead to connections. And that's what counts. Somebody write that down. That's a great little tagline there, right? It's the conversations. It's getting a connection that's beyond just a here's my business card. And so that's what we do. We go into breakout rooms where you can actually have conversations. What are you working on? What do you need? What's moving in your business? What's not working? Where do you need support? Who could somebody possibly connect you to that could help you get to that next level that you're trying to get to? And so that's what really drives all of that. Okay, that drives all of that. And then let me tell you what we have coming up. Let me go ahead and open this up for our training this month in our community. I will pull up what our class is on. I actually don't know if I have this listed here. Every month we do a class, and I think I deleted all of it out there. If you go to heygirlyoucan.com and you go to our I guess you go to our Instagram or you go to Facebook, either one, you'll see posted for our upcoming class this month. I'll see if I can find it and pull it out for you. So every month, our members, we get together and we do a class, and it's a 1 hour session on Zoom, and it is designed, either the focus is a very specific business focus, something that's going to grow your business, or it's going to grow you, right? So grow you. And so our class, let's see if I can even find it. This is crazy that I'm like, oh, I don't even know what it is. It's listed somewhere. Okay, this is our class this month. What do I actually do next? So this is if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, unsure of what to focus on. Like, you've got this business, but you're feeling overwhelmed, right? I'm going to teach you how to walk through that, because, overwhelmed, this feeling of overwhelmed. And I woke up this morning with this because I've got an event today. I've got 2 events tomorrow. Hey Girl You Can. We've got our co-working session tomorrow. We have our in-person session tomorrow. I've got a big event that I'm running tonight. I just got back from Boston. I've got a bunch of packages that I need to get out. And I had this like, oh, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Do you guys ever feel that way? I just feel overwhelmed. Overwhelmed is a signal to your brain that you're not sure of your next best priority. So somebody who's constantly saying, I'm just so overwhelmed, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm so overwhelmed. What they're really telling themselves is, I have not figured out really what my priorities are. I really don't know what the next thing is that I should be focused on, because they all look equal. That everything is getting my attention equally. And I haven't figured out in this next hour or in this next half hour or in this next day, this is really what I should be focused on. That's the real priority. Because if you know that, then you're not overwhelmed. Right? There could be lots of things to get done, but if you know this is really the next one that I'm focused on, then that overwhelm goes away. So it's having a different conversation with your brain. And so sometimes as women business owners, we don't know what that next priority is. We don't know how to figure that out. And we feel like we're being pulled in 10 different directions. And so we're going to dive deep into that, into how to fix that so that you know exactly what to do next. And not just what to do next, but the right thing to do next. What is the best next step for you? So that's what we have going on. So I hope you guys have an incredible week. It looks like it's going to storm here pretty soon, but I will see you on Friday. I would love to see you in person, either tomorrow at our event or online at our networking event. So go check out our links, check out our events, share this with your friends who are business owners. And then tell me, if you had a year left, what would you change? What would you do different than you're doing now? And maybe you start to do that. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.